Trade agreements are formal arrangements between two or more countries that determine how they will conduct trade with each other. These agreements set the rules for buying and selling goods and services across borders, aiming to make international trade smoother and more predictable. By reducing barriers like tariffs and import quotas, trade agreements help countries access new markets, encourage competition, and foster economic growth. In this video, we'll break down the basics of trade agreements, explore their types, and discuss why they matter in our globalized world. Let's start by understanding the core purpose behind these deals. Main goal of trade agreements is to make trading between countries easier and more efficient. They aim to reduce or eliminate obstacles that can slow down or complicate the exchange of goods and services. By doing so, trade agreements help businesses expand into new markets and give consumers access to a wider variety of products at competitive prices. These agreements also promote cooperation and understanding between nations, which can lead to stronger political and economic ties. Now let's look at the different types of trade agreements that exist. Bilateral trade agreement is a deal between two countries. These agreements are designed to benefit both sides by lowering tariffs, removing quotas, and setting clear rules for trade. For example, if country A and country B sign a bilateral agreement, businesses in both countries can sell their products to each other more easily and at lower costs. Bilateral agreements are often tailored to the specific needs and interests of the two countries involved, making them flexible and effective for addressing unique trade issues. Multilateral trade agreements involve three or more countries. These deals are usually broader and more complex than bilateral agreements because they must balance the interests of multiple nations. A well-known example is the World Trade Organization (WTO) agreements, which set global rules for trade among its member countries. Multilateral agreements aim to create a level playing field, making it easier for countries to trade with each other under consistent rules. They also help resolve disputes and promote global economic stability. Regional trade agreements are deals between countries within a specific geographic area. These agreements are designed to boost trade among neighboring nations by reducing barriers and harmonizing regulations. Examples include the European Union (EU) and the North American Free Trade Agreement (NAFTA). Regional agreements often go beyond just lowering tariffs. They may also address labor standards, environmental protection, and investment rules. By working together, countries in a region can strengthen their economies and compete more effectively on the global stage. Trade agreements typically include several important features. These may cover tariff reductions, rules for product standards, intellectual property rights, and dispute resolution mechanisms. By setting clear guidelines, trade agreements help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that all parties know what to expect. They also often include provisions for protecting workers and the environment, reflecting the growing importance of social and environmental issues in global trade. Next, let's explore how tariffs work within trade agreements. Tariffs are taxes placed on imported goods. They make foreign products more expensive, which can protect domestic industries from competition. However, high tariffs can also make goods more costly for consumers and limit choices. Trade agreements often aim to reduce or eliminate tariffs, making it cheaper and easier for countries to trade with each other. Lower tariffs can lead to lower prices, more variety, and increased competition, benefiting both businesses and consumers. Besides tariffs, countries may use other measures to control trade, known as non-tariff barriers. These include quotas, licensing requirements, and strict product standards. Non-tariff barriers can make it harder for foreign companies to enter a market, even if tariffs are low or zero. Trade agreements often address these barriers by setting common standards and simplifying procedures, helping to create a fairer trading environment for all parties involved. Disagreements can arise in international trade, even with clear agreements in place. That's why most trade agreements include dispute resolution mechanisms. These systems provide a structured way for countries to resolve conflicts, often through negotiation, mediation, or arbitration. Effective dispute resolution helps maintain trust and stability in international trade relationships, ensuring that all parties follow the agreed rules and commitments. One of the main focuses of trade agreements is the exchange of goods, such as cars, electronics, and agricultural products. Agreements set the terms for how these goods can be traded, including rules on tariffs, safety standards, and labeling requirements. By clarifying these rules, trade agreements help businesses plan their operations and reduce the risk of unexpected costs or delays. This makes international trade more predictable and efficient. Trade agreements don't just cover physical goods, they also address services like banking, insurance, and tourism. By opening up service markets, agreements allow companies to offer their expertise and skills in other countries. This can lead to more competition, better quality, and lower prices for consumers. Service trade is becoming increasingly important in the global economy, and modern agreements reflect this shift. Many trade agreements include rules for protecting intellectual property, such as patents, copyrights, and trademarks. These rules help ensure that creators and inventors are rewarded for their work, encouraging innovation and creativity. Strong intellectual property protections can attract investment and support the growth of knowledge-based industries. However, finding the right balance between protection and access is often a key challenge in trade negotiation. Trade agreements often include provisions to protect and encourage investment between countries. These rules give investors confidence that their assets will be treated fairly and protected from unfair treatment or expropriation. Investment provisions can help attract foreign capital, create jobs, and boost economic development. They also set out procedures for resolving investment disputes, adding another layer of security for businesses. Modern trade agreements often include commitments to uphold labor rights and protect the environment. These provisions aim to ensure that economic growth does not come at the expense of workers or the planet. For example, agreements may require countries to enforce minimum wage laws, ban child labor, or reduce pollution. By including these standards, trade agreements promote sustainable development and responsible business practices. Of the most well-known trade agreements include the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, the European Union EU Single Market, and the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP. These deals have shaped global trade by creating large integrated markets and setting high standards for trade and investment. Each agreement has its own unique features and goals, reflecting the interests of its member countries. Trade agreements offer many advantages for businesses. By reducing tariffs and simplifying rules, they lower costs and make it easier to enter new markets. Companies can expand their customer base, increase sales, and benefit from economies of scale. Trade agreements also provide more certainty and stability, helping businesses plan for the future and invest with confidence. Consumers also gain from trade agreements. With fewer barriers, they enjoy a wider range of products, often at lower prices. Increased competition can lead to better quality and more choices. Trade agreements can also encourage innovation as companies strive to meet the demands of new markets and customers. Overall, these deals help improve living standards and consumer satisfaction. Despite their benefits, trade agreements are not without challenges. Critics argue that they can lead to job losses in certain industries, increase inequality, or undermine local cultures and regulations. Some worry that powerful countries or corporations may dominate negotiations, leaving smaller players at a disadvantage. Addressing these concerns requires careful design and enforcement of trade agreements, as well as ongoing dialogue among stakeholders. World Trade Organization (WTO) plays a central role in overseeing global trade agreements. It provides a forum for countries to negotiate new deals, resolve disputes, and monitor compliance with existing agreements. The WTO aims to promote free and fair trade, helping countries benefit from economic integration while managing the challenges of globalization. Trade agreements are constantly evolving to address new challenges, such as digital trade, climate change, and shifting geopolitical dynamics. As technology advances and economies become more interconnected, future agreements will need to be flexible and innovative. Ongoing negotiations and reforms will shape the next generation of trade deals, ensuring they remain relevant and effective in a rapidly changing world. Summary: trade agreements are powerful tools for shaping the global economy. They help countries cooperate, reduce barriers, and create opportunities for businesses and consumers alike. While challenges remain, well-designed agreements can promote growth, innovation, and sustainable development. Understanding how trade agreements work is essential for anyone interested in international business or economics. Thanks for joining us as we explored the world of trade agreements.